This is Girl that empowers Black women to stop playing with their potential so they can live a life that they love. I'm Coriel, your favorite homegirl, and I'm on a mission to help Black women make the money and get the honey. You can have it all as long as you're willing to work. This is Girl Stop Playing. I am Coriel, here to encourage you to stop playing with your potential and start working for what you want in life and in love. You already know that I'm bringing you the information and the conversations to help you make the money and get the honey. You can have it all as long as you are willing to work. Now, today's conversation is going to be so full of gems that you might be listening to this over on the Wifed Up Now What podcast, because I just know, I already knew before they sat down in the studio that this was going to be such a powerful conversation. So I'm going ahead and making this an episode on Girl Stop Playing and Wifed Up Now What. And if you happen to be listening on one or the other, but you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let me introduce you to today's guests. We have Shirley and Shannon Austin in the building.
Yes.
What up?
What's up?
Thank you.
Thank y'all for being here.
Oh, thank you for having us.
It is my pleasure, because y'all are about to drop so many, I'm not even going to say gems, just so much wisdom for the people, but I really invited y'all here for selfish reasons because
This is a coaching
girl.
session.
This is a coaching session.
I love
Hello.
it.
My
I love
husband
it.
should be
Yes.
sitting right here
That'd be
next
dope.
to me. But I get so much value from having these conversations as a new wife. 3 years, is that still new? I'm
You
still
new.
like
Yeah, that's
honeymoon,
new.
You brand new.
right?
Yeah, you brand new.
I'm brand new, but we've had some life-ish, which kind of sped up, I guess, the season that we're in our marriage. So we're going to talk about that today. But I get so much value from getting the wisdom from people who have been there, done that, and are still in the journey, and y'all still like each other. So that's
Sometimes.
Ooh, let's get into it. Let's get into it, because when y'all first sat down here, I'm like, ooh, y'all are about to give us so much, because I think that y'all got it figured out, and y'all are like, no, we're still figuring
We're still
it out.
figuring
Still
it
figuring
out.
So we're about to get into that. But before we do, introduce yourself to the people. If they have not seen you before, who is Marriage Inc. and what is it all about? Defer to hubby.
Oh, yeah, she always defers to me when it comes to describing who we are. But I am Shannon. You can't introduce
Yes, I am Shirley.
We were two halves of Marriage Inc.
Yes.
Marriage Inc. is really a platform that God gave us to help people try to figure it out, but use business concepts in this age of entrepreneurship. Use business concepts to be able to help figure it out.
Got
And
it.
so we were, this was deposited into us, and we just, as we are learning and helping couples navigate their process, we are learning as well and growing in a lot of ways.
So Marriage Inc., what all do you offer? What do you provide? Is it counseling? Is it coaching? You work with couples, women, men? Tell us about it.
We do coaching.
Okay.
And we work with couples, and I have my female clients. He has his male clients. Right. And the couples we do together.
Okay. So that
And we're
was
authors as well.
and your authors as well. So that was kind of a trick question, because I had Jeremy Anderson on Wifed Up Now What, and he referenced his marriage coaches. And I could not let him move on past that without stopping him. Wait a minute. I've heard of business coaches. I've heard of life coaches. I've heard of marriage counselors,
Got you.
but I wasn't familiar with the concept of a marriage coach.
Yes.
And as somebody who probably need a marriage coach, that definitely caught my attention, because that's a resource that I didn't know about. So for people out there who are like me and are just ignorant to the concept of what a marriage coach is, what does coaching look like in terms of marriage coaching?
Right. So, counseling, you could go to counseling for the next 20 years, right? And you just sit and talk and share and come back the next week. With coaching, you have to be ready to do the work, and that's why we say, we hadn't arrived. We're not doing this work because we've arrived. We just know the tools now, and we use them much better than we ever did before, right? And so we just share with couples the tools. So that's coaching. You tell us where it is you want to be. We also assess where you are, and together we work. Okay, this is the goal. And then we say, okay, these are the challenges that you are facing. this is why you're facing these challenges. Now let's redirect. Let's get in alignment with your ultimate goal. And so we just share
So
those tools.
if you think, sorry, baby, if you think of what a personal trainer is to your body, we are that to your marriage, right? So we look at, because there's people that have been working out and haven't been achieving the goals that they want to, hitting the benchmarks that they want to hit. And so then they hire a trainer. And that trainer is designed to look at what you're doing, look at how you're doing it, and then guide you through a process to do it better. So you really shouldn't need a personal trainer
The rest
all
of
the
your
time,
life.
the rest of your life. You should get to a certain point, and once you're at that point, they should be able to let you fly on your own.
So how long have you two been married?
26 years.
26 years.
Coming
How
up on
long did you
27.
date before you got married?
About 3 years.
We didn't
Two-
date
two-
3 years. We met in 95, got married in 97.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
so
so 2
2
years.
years,
Okay,
2 years.
so getting close to that 30, okay. Goals for sure. Have you noticed a positive impact on your own marriage based on the work that you've been doing? Like, what are the benefits
for
that you
sure.
two get just from doing this work together?
It's so interesting because we go into marriage with an idea, and that's not at all what marriage is. And one of the things that I have learned is that he is my teacher and I am his teacher, right? But a lot of times there are challenges because we don't accept each other as each other's teacher. So the benefit, I have grown exponentially. There are parts of me, right, the little girl that needed to be healed, and we come into the marriage not knowing that we're presenting the little girl, right? And he doesn't like the little girl, and I don't like the little boy. But in time, as we realize what's going on, now we're open to, okay, when he redirects, when he's like, hey, right? Like she's showing up, like, this is what you're doing. I allow him to teach me, to help me to grow and help me to heal.
But that takes self-awareness. Because I had a
yes.
conversation, someone sitting right here on the couch, and we ended up, conversation came around, so many times it does, to like inner childhood issues. And we talked about the fact that she's sitting here on the couch as a grown woman, but the issues she's experiencing, the challenge she's presenting, she's really sitting on the couch as her 7-year-old self, her 10-year-old self. And a lot of times we show up in these marriages as our 12-year-old, 15-year-old selves, but we're not self-aware enough to even realize that that's what it is. So when we keep running into these issues, we don't know that, I mean, we obviously know that we're a part of the problem, but we can't pinpoint or identify even that we do have those issues, that maybe we stopped developing at, a certain age. And so what do you all think is the value or importance of doing self-work before even getting into a relationship? Because I think sometimes if you get into this marriage and now y'all are committed, but y'all haven't necessarily committed to personal growth, one person could recognize their issues and try to fix it, but little boy might not realize he's showing up as the little boy. So what is the benefit, or do you all even recommend that people seek their own self-work before getting into relationship and marriage?
I personally think everybody should be in therapy, period. Or on some level, you should be trying to. And I've yet to come across a person who has not experienced some sort of trauma, some sort of hurt, and dealt with all of it prior to them entering into a serious relationship, like a serious relationship looking towards marriage. That very rarely are people even trying to think about that. All they're looking for really is someone to meet their needs. They don't know the foundational basis of those needs, but they're just looking for you to meet those needs. If you can do that, then you're a candidate. But we don't realize that those needs come from unhealed hurts, and so it's a bottomless pit. You can keep doing it right. You can keep showing up in a particular kind of way, but because the itch has not been dealt with, you ever somebody scratching your back and you're like,
Not right there though.
It's
Yeah.
right. It's like, and they're working, they're scratching, and they're just going to town on your back, but you're like, you're not getting to that spot. Let me move. Let me adjust. It's better for them to leave their hand where it is. and you adjust and they say, now scratch there. And then you can say, okay, increase the intensity, don't, right? So I'm just using that as a metaphor to help us to understand that it's our work that brings about the utopia that we want to experience. It's not the collective work, and it's not
individual
their
work.
work. It's not her work. It's my work. And once I do that work, woo, it's on and popping.
And let me say this. There is no relationship void of challenges. So if you don't do the work, you're really just going, you're already going in just saying, hey, I already know there's going to be challenges. I don't know what they're going to be, but there's going to be challenges and I don't know how to deal with them. Right? So doing the work is saying there's going to be challenges. Let me go in. You're not going to go in like, I've done the work and now our relationship is just going to be amazing. No. But you will have tools. You will recognize yourself showing up in certain ways, right? That's how you said, we don't see that and we don't. But when you do the work, you do if you're intentional.
Man, I have said out of my mouth so many times, like, marriage is a mirror. And if you don't want to look in that mirror, marriage is not for you. Okay?
Yes.
When I tell you there is no deeper relationship than someone who's literally there with you before you wake up in the morning. Like, I'm not even up and you could be staring me in my face. Like, you are literally, your presence is with me. So much so that you can pinpoint things that I need to work on. You can see things. You can pick up on things sometimes that I don't even see within myself. And if you're not mature enough, if you're not self-aware enough, if you're not committed to the vow that you've made, I think a lot of times those little issues start showing up. And again, you're not self-aware. You're not willing to grow. You sometimes can't recognize your contribution to it, or you don't want to, and then we start having all of these issues. Have you all seen, or I know you have, so what do you do when you have couples that come to you and one person is more on board than the other? How do you work through that challenge if maybe the husband is more self-aware, he's seeing something and he wants to fix it before it spirals out of control, but the wife is not really on board yet? Do y'all ever experience that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Most times.
Number one, ask, what is it that you want? Right? So if what you want and what you're doing is not in alignment with what you want, and what you're doing is not working, why do you keep doing it? Right? We don't do anything that we're not getting something from, right? So there's a fear there, there's an insecurity there, right? And so our job is to pinpoint and figure out, why is it there and how could we now remove it, right? That's the work, removing it. That's and listen, most times it's fear, sis, right? We have a fear of opening up our heart.
Because we've opened it before and we got hurt. And now, even though we love this man, there's still something in there that is fearful that, but what if, but is this really a safe space? And I think, to your point, it takes that, me knowing it's my work and not having the expectation that you're going to make me happy or that this happy relationship is always going to be happy, because it's not. What is your advice for people who find themselves in situations where they have put their partner on a pedestal with the expectation that it is always going to be happy, and then they're disappointed when it's not?
I have said this, knowing what I know now and experiencing what I've experienced with Shirley. I say now, I hope this is a safe space. Right?
It's a safe space.
It's a safe space. I say now I am fully, I'm fully ready to walk in on a butt naked orgy that doesn't include me.
Okay.
I have prepared myself for the worst.
That's the worst. Okay, I was like, wait, this make sense for me. You've prepared yourself for the worst.
I prepared myself for the worst.
Okay.
That would come from her.
Okay.
So I have removed any expectations of her perfection. Right? Because that's what
I can't move past the butt naked orgy.
Right.
What in your preparation?
There wouldn't be a clothed orgy.
Well, no,
right?
it would not be.
Right.
But when you say that, are you saying that you are at the point where you could work through anything that she presents to you?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I was, okay.
To include terminal health illnesses, to include midlife crises that shift. Like, I'm going through one right now. She's like, what is this
What's
guy?
happening?
What's happening with him? I'm like, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I like. I'm asking all of these weird questions spiritually and things that I've been rock solid in. All this. She didn't expect for any of that to happen. That's currently her butt naked orgy she's walked in on. And who is this guy and what is he doing? Right? And so I have said to myself that she is a human. And humans I don't put anything past a human being. I'm fully prepared for you to tell me whatever your reality is. It doesn't shock me. I don't, oh my goodness, I don't judge it.
How would you not internalize that and make it a you?
It's not about me. It has absolutely nothing to do with me.
That is ideal.
That's a mature, evolved response. The person who is out on the street watching this, that walk in on a butt naked orgy, they're not going to say, this has nothing to do with me. You know how? So your advice for someone who is not evolved and mature to get to that point, what did you have to, okay, pause for the cause. Because this is a safe space. And I believe I saw a conversation with y'all. I'm not going to look y'all in your face when I say this. I believe I saw a conversation where y'all were talking about some challenges that y'all have worked through. Can we talk about some of those?
Absolutely.
Talk about anything you want to talk about.
So, because it's easy to sit up here and talk about all the things that we would do, we could do, but the fact that y'all have actually worked through some things that somebody watching this would be like, oh, hell no, not me. I want to talk about some of those things because it is a very mature, evolved stance to say, I know that this is not a me thing. That's something that you're working on, something that you're going to have to work through, and I'm not going to take this personally. So you all have experienced infidelity.
Yes.
On both parts?
Yes.
Who stepped out first?
I did.
You stepped out first. Okay. What was the time? Was it like a get back? I'm just trying to put the sequence
For
events
me?
together. Yeah. Was it like you did this, so I'm gonna go do this?
Not an immediate.
Not immediately.
immediate.
I mean, it took years.
Okay.
But I was just like fed up. I was hurt. I was like done.
What year in your marriage was this?
9.
Year 9.
Or 8. The 8th.
Prior to year 8, what had been the major? What was like the biggest challenge prior to year 8?
Complete and utter disconnection. Right.
Complete and utter.
Complete and utter. So in some of the most major facets, especially for a man. So sexually, we were not connected, and I couldn't figure out because before we got married, she was swinging from the chandelier.
So when you say sexually not connected, you mean like your sex drive was not the same?
Absolutely, totally different.
Got you.
Then
not only was y'all's not the same, but it wasn't even the same as it was previously to you all getting married.
Right.
Got you.
After I had our son.
And once we had a child.
Let's make that clear. Let's put that out there.
Thank you.
Right. And so I mean, so many things changed, and I was like, what?
Who are you?
What? I made the wrong decision. Like the conversations I was having with people that were close to me before I even stepped out and started seeing the grass being greener on the other side, I was having the questions like, what did I choose? And why did I choose this? And why is this happening? And it was hard, man. It's hard to sit next to a woman who, before you were wondering, will I be able to keep up? And now it's like, it's just dry as the Sahara Desert. And I wasn't mature enough. One, she was postpartally depressed, right? 2, she had a brand new baby. The last thing she was interested in was me, period. Especially because one of the things that Shirley desired being most in life was a mother.
As is with most women. Yeah.
And here she has her prize, what would be considered her prized possession, because all she wanted was boys. She wanted, like, when we were talking, and she was like, oh, I just want 10, 12 boys. Children, and then I want them all to be boys, right? And so now here she has the start of that, which is the first boy, and I'm nothing. I'm literally nothing.
So let me ask you this, Shirley, because this is a conversation that comes up so often of the misunderstanding of your take, everything is so different. That is the reality. Literally, everything is so different. But I don't think that there is any way for a man to really understand the difference, because we don't even understand the difference. So when you say, you know, who is this person? I'm sure you didn't even know who this person was. You had literally become a new woman. New everything is new once the baby's inside your belly, everything is new. Not even when you know, he's in the world. So you truly are a new person that you don't even know about. You damn sure don't have a chance to figure it out.
No
And she
clue.
can't even help you because she don't even know. And so I think that is one of the biggest challenges is when you have children. And we never talk about that. We never talk about the impact of children on a happy marriage, because it sounds like everything was smooth sailing before the baby. Would you say, Shirley, that you were infatuated with the baby? Like, did you feel that in the moment, like, I just care about my baby now and not my husband? Or was it more of a subconscious, I'm a mother now, I have a new responsibility, my priorities are a little different? Like, if you remember.
No, yeah, it was subconscious. It wasn't, no, I don't care about him at all. It was, we have this little human who we are now responsible for. He can't do anything on his own. So yes, my energy is naturally going to go 99.9% to him, as well as yours should. Right? That's what I was thinking, and I think that's accurate. Like, that is how it should be. Right? But the problem is, we don't ask questions. Right? There was no conversation like, babe, like, you know, how are you feeling? Like, having a baby, like, has anything changed with you? Like, what's going on? Or I noticed there's a right? That's why we say that one of the most powerful things you could do is ask questions.
Ask questions.
Ask questions. And
Interview
so that's where
questions,
we missed
not
the boat.
interrogative questions.
Yes, right? That's where we missed the boat. That's where we started to miss the boat.
That was the beginning
He
of the
created
disconnect.
narratives about what was going on.
She don't care about me no more. All she care about is this baby.
Right.
And
Yes.
your perspective is, this baby has nothing. He needs me. He literally can do nothing on his own. I am.
And my
it
perspective
for
was,
this baby, and you should
we
be it
can't-
too.
yeah. And
You
my
over here trying to
yeah.
push up on me. Go get that baby.
Yeah,
That's a big
exactly.
disconnect.
Well, see, now here is the